In order to make intermittent fasting easier, I cut out sugary drinks. In today's video, I'm going to talk about why and how that worked. So, intermittent fasting, when you are in your fasting window, sugary drinks are a definite no-no. Like, you can't do that because it raises your blood sugar and basically it breaks the fast. So I knew I couldn't have sugary drinks during that time. But my thought process was, I really want to have different drinks besides just water during my fasting time. I knew that if I could have a little bit of variety, that would help me to stick with it for the long term. So the big problem is I loved sugary drinks. The sweeter, the better, in my opinion. So, like, for example, in my sweet tea, it was 1.5 cups of sugar for a gallon, which is basically as much sugar as there is in soda. So there was that. I drank sugar in my coffee, like a tablespoon in a cup of coffee. And I love Cokes. So I knew that I needed to change that. But the question was, like, how do you do it? And I had done it in the past. Like, I would say, well, I'm just gonna not have Cokes, or I'm gonna not have sweet tea. I'm just gonna drink water. Well, that gets boring after a while. And I didn't want to do artificial sweeteners. The big reason for that was I had read some research that basically said, you know, it makes you hungrier. And I certainly noticed that with my own experience. If I drink a Diet Coke with, like, say, you know, a fast food meal, I'm hungrier at the end of the meal. And same thing with sweetened drinks too. I noticed I tended to eat more when I had, you know, sweet tea with my meal. So I thought, okay, if I can just eliminate the sugar, maybe that will help. So this time I was determined, okay, when I do this, I want to do it right so that it's a permanent change. It's not just a temporary thing. I wanted to really learn how to like these drinks. And so that's the attitude I had. I'm gonna learn how to like it. So the way I learned how to like drinks that aren't sweet is I just gradually eliminated the sugar. And I'm talking slowly too. Like, for example, with the tea, I started making it, instead of 1.5 cups of sugar, I did it with 1.33 cups of sugar, and then a cup of sugar. And then when I got used to it, I would do 3/4 cup, and all the way down, like, you know, down to a half. And then it was not very sweet at all, and then I thought, okay, I can cut it out completely. Same thing with my coffee. Every time I waited until I was used to it, until I really had started enjoying it, to start cutting it even further. That gradual process helped me to really start to taste the drink that I was drinking, instead of just saying, oh, that's not sweet enough. You know, it was like, okay, I'm used to this, and I'll, you know, cut it back. And what I noticed was I really do enjoy it now. I was one of those people, like, I hated it when, you know, if somebody brought me unsweetened tea, it was disgusting. But I've found that that's really all about your expectations. If you're expecting, you know, something to be sweet when it's unsweetened, it's going to taste gross. But it's not that you won't ever like unsweetened tea. So this made intermittent fasting much easier because I was able to have some variety in my day, even though I wasn't consuming any calories. So I could have unsweetened tea, I could have coffee. I use half and half, which technically has calories in it, but it doesn't have any sugar, and for me it still works. And I also drink things like LaCroix, which is not sweetened at all. It doesn't have any artificial sweeteners. It's just a soda that's not sweetened. It's like a sparkling water with basically just natural flavorings, but no sugar, no sweeteners at all. This, again, was a gradual process for me. I started trying to cut down my sugar in my drinks starting in 2015. And I think it took me several months to really get to the point where I was enjoying sugar-free drinks, and that whole process of just weaning myself down. Again, it was gradual so that I could start to really enjoy it every time I wanted to enjoy it before I cut further. So if you've eliminated sugar, let me know in the comments. How did you do it? Have you found that you enjoy sugar-free drinks, or do you miss them? Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below.